Growth Engine Daily. I'd like to talk about the myths around cost management and supply chain improvements. It might be a little bit of a mouthful that for you, the myths around cost management and supply chain improvements. But I get a little bit frustrated when I see cost management consultants coming into business, and in the most they do a good job, but what I see that frustrates me, when I sit on boards and these consultants come in, is the generalistic approach they take. And what I want to highlight to you today is my experiences, and to sort of get you to focus where cost management consultants are better and can add a lot of value. So just to be clear, straight out of the gate, I'm not anti-cost cutting or cost management consultants at all. And businesses should always keep a tight rein on certainly overhead and direct costs and things like that. But I just want to highlight sort of two areas that I think that you could sort of learn to split a line between when either cost cutting in your business, cost managing your business, or bringing in a cost management consultant yourself, as an external. I recently, is it the displeasure that I had of having to have a chat with one company that I sit on the board with? We brought one in just to sort of do an audit that canvassed us, and it offers a free consultation. So we're sitting there and take out the spiel, take out everything else. My job there is really to observe and to see what the process that was going to take to advise the board. And it just seemed to be that there was going to go carte blanche at the supply chain, and there was going to go out and there was going to look at the service and evaluate, evaluate what we're currently getting, and then there was going to go out and find alternative suppliers to go out to try and lower the cost. So I'm 45 to 50 minutes into this meeting, and my blood's boiling by here, and I'm waiting for the gear shift. By the gear shift, this is where the split comes into two. So what I want to do is not necessarily talk too much about those anymore. What I want to do is talk about where cost management consultants have value and where I think that they could damage your business. So I know that's a bold statement, and I apologise if there's any cost management consultants in the community. It's an honest take. I'm happy for you to open a debate with me. I'm sure not all cost management consultants are cut from the same cloth, would be the statement, but here goes. So where we're looking at commodity purchases, so let's define commodity purchases. Things that you can go anywhere and purchase that gets delivered to the same standard in the same time frame, but where you can leverage a cost. So a commodity is just that. It's something that you can go to market and go from there. There's still, and I'm sure the commodity purchase providers, or suppliers should I say, they will certainly be saying, yeah, but our service is better than this company, or that service is better than that company, and to a degree that will be there. But the example I'm going to give to you is if you're buying a computer box, and that's made by Dell or HP, and that computer box is the same spec from one supplier to another, it's the same delivery, it's the same warranty, and one of those boxes is £499 and the other is £400, that's a commodity purchase. As long as it's like for like, then why would you pay more? I accept that, and cost management consultants are pretty good at highlighting that. However, when you get into more, and I'll put these two together, which is niche services, or what I would call service-based delivery that has a lot of hidden areas that these cost management consultants just don't see. So for those who know me a little bit more, I spent 20 odd years in automotive finance and leasing, and run basically a top 50 leasing company in the UK. And when I was back to this cost management consultant, we were speaking about company vehicles. They chipped in, and they were unaware that both this client and myself have got an automotive background, and we didn't necessarily say, which also tells me that they came to a meeting unprepared, but that's a totally different article that we'll do in the community. But then they said, well, for your company car leases, we'll go out and we'll tender it out and we'll get you the cheapest vehicles out there. So in the 90s, in the mid 90s, 95, 96, 97, you know, get into the late 90s, we built a vehicle leasing company that we built from scratch to just over 3 million on a proviso that I could charge you £15 a month more and still save you money. How that works is, I don't want to get too technical, but there is something called spread rental and terminal pause in leasing. And a spread rental would be typically 3 by 35, so you pay 38 payments over 35 months, over 36 months usage. When you add those up and divide it, it comes to a total amount repayable. But the 3 by 3 terminal pause, which is 36 payments for 36 months rental, well actually, it's about 10 to 15 pounds a month more based on manufacturer deal. But ultimately, when you look at the TAR, the total amount repayable, it's actually cheaper. So when I see a cost management consultant speaking about vehicle leasing, saying I can get you cheaper leases, then if it's like for like and it's everything on a commodity purchase, that's different. But then they're missing all the service, the de-hire charges, the inclusive damage charges, administration charges, V103 certificate charges, and they're just so uneducated. Now, this just may be a bad apple, but I have worked maybe it's not quite right, but I have had the experience of dealing with multiple cost management consultants, probably a dozen or so over my career, and I see the same mistake time after time after time. They are treating specific niche services and contractual recurring payments like a commodity purchase. So what's the lesson here? And I'm happy for you to open a debate with me if you've experienced this or if this gives you some value. Leave a comment below, and then we can get any questions that you've got around that. So when you're looking at either cost cutting in your business, cost management in your business, improving your bottom line, which is a great way of doing it without improving sales, or you're looking to hire a cost management consultant, make sure you split these two into these costs into two. The commodity purchases that are, and rightly so, on a like-for-like basis, can we improve the price point that we get? Maybe you buy at the same price but get a faster delivery. That's also a win if your business is time sensitive. But then start to split out things like vehicle leasing. If you look at my service as a whole, there is 1,000,001 non-execs out there that would be £500 a day cheaper than me. Do they have the experience? Can they give the same added value? Of course, they would argue they would. But, and there's a lot of non-execs who are more expensive than me. So there's always a price point based on experience and value and service and relationship. And I think that's where cost management consultants fail, to understand the relationship between the company and the service or niche provider. And also where businesses who are cost cutting or cost managing themselves always seem to look over it. And there's a great saying out there, isn't there, about you buy cheap, you buy twice. Or you buy cheap and you regret it. And how many times have you had to circle back on the U-turn and go back and do that? So I just wanted to sort of highlight it. Something I've experienced this week. It's something that I thought was very poor, very one-dimensional, where a multi-spectrum of sort of approach needed to be done, and clearly this management consultant didn't get the business, and we decided to pursue alternative options. So leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts. As always, I hope that's going to improve your bottom line without increasing your sales, just tightening up your margins. If you've got any questions about doing this internally, shoot us a message below, leave a comment, and as always, we appreciate you continuing your growth engine development. As always, go to the hustle, go make it happen, and we'll catch up with you on a Growth Engine Daily.